My apartment had a cramped bedroom, a tiny kitchen, and a living room doubling as my office, cluttered with books and empty coffee mugs. Rain streaked the windows, blurring the neon lights outside, casting an eerie glow. That first night, a storm raged, wind whistling through window cracks, making the place feel like a bubble cut off from the world. I sat at my desk, typing under the dim laptop glow, shadows stretching across the room like fingers. Around 11 p.m., I crawled into bed, but the weight of the empty apartment kept me awake. Staring at the ceiling. The first call came at exactly midnight. I was lying in bed, the digital clock glowing 12 a.m. in blood-red digits. Shadows from the streetlight outside slithered on the walls, bending unnaturally. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, a known number. I hesitated, heart thudding, but something urged me to answer. "Hello?" I croaked. Static crackled, then a raspy whisper. "Alex ... My name, drawn out like a sigh. I froze. "Who is this?" I demanded. A low chuckle, like dry leaves scraping pavement, answered. "Someone who knows you." The line cut off. I stared at the phone, goosebumps prickling my skin. A prank, I told myself, but they knew my name. I tried calling back. It rang into a void. The storm outside howled louder, and I lay awake, the apartment's darkness feeling heavier, more alive. The calls became a nightly ritual. Always at midnight, always an unknown number. I'd be in the kitchen, the fluorescent light flickering like a dying pulse, steam rising from my coffee. The phone would buzz, and I'd answer despite my dread. "Alex, why did you leave Sarah?" The voice whispered one night, naming my ex. My mug slipped, nearly shattering. How did they know? Another night. Blue jacket, black backpack on the L train today, right? They were watching me. I started locking the door twice, drawing curtains until the apartment was a cave. The city's hum through the walls felt like a taunt. I blocked numbers, but they kept coming. The kitchen's flickering light seemed to pulse with the whispers, and shadows in the corners grew denser, as if listening. One night, after the voice recited my childhood address, I peered out the window. The street below was shrouded in fog, street lamps barely piercing the haze. Under one lamp, a shadow lingered tall, formless, motionless, as if staring up at my window. My breath fogged the glass, the cold seeping into my bones. I grabbed my coat and ran downstairs, but the street was empty, only puddles reflecting fractured light. Back in the apartment, the air felt wrong, thicker, colder. The hallway outside creaked, though no one passed. I double-checked the locks, but the shadows under the door seemed to writhe, testing the barrier. The calls grew bolder. "I know your scar, Alex. The bike accident at 12. My stomach churned. This wasn't a prank anymore. I turned to the internet, desperate for answers. At 2 a.m., my computer screen was the only light, casting a sickly glow in the sealed-off apartment. Curtains blocked the outside world, but the darkness inside felt heavier. Forums described similar calls, people stalked by voices that knew too much, some vanishing after weeks of harassment. One post mentioned a caller from beyond, a spirit or entity, but I scoffed, even as my hands shook. The voice grew personal. "You're at your desk now, aren't you, Alex?" I spun around, heart racing, but the room was empty. Or was it? Shadows flickered where no light should cast them. My dreams turned to nightmares, faceless shapes whispering my failures in an endless void. The horror escalated with knocks. After a call where the voice hissed, "I'm closer than you think," banging erupted at my door. I crept toward it, chain lock rattling, and peered through the peephole empty hallway, but shadows slithered under the door like probing fingers. "Who's there?" I whispered, voice trembling. Silence, then more knocks, rhythmic, deliberate. I called the police, but they found no trace, only scuff marks on the hallway floor. The next call mocked me. "Police can't stop me, Alex. I know what you did last summer." It referenced a hit and run I'd buried years ago, a secret I'd told no one. The apartment became a prison, every creak a threat, every shadow a spy. Asterisk, the climax hit during a violent storm. Lightning slashed the sky, thunder shaking the walls. The phone rang at midnight, cord tangling like a noose. I screamed, "Who are you?" The voice, now clear and chillingly familiar, sighed, "Look in the mirror, Alex. It's your guilt." Lightning flashed, and in the living room mirror, a distorted reflection stared back my face. But hollow, eyes like voids. Was it me? The voice was mine, warped, from a burner phone I didn't remember buying. Had I been calling myself, unraveling from repressed trauma? The line crackled, "I'm coming." The door flew open, no one there. But a note on the floor, "You can't escape yourself." I smashed the phone. Glass scattering, but the whispers echoed in my skull. Asterisk, morning came. The apartment silent, phone unplugged. I moved out days later, but the whispers linger in my mind, faint but persistent, especially at midnight. The new tenant called me, asking about strange calls. They knew his name too. If your phone rings at midnight from an unknown number, don't answer. It might be something you buried, calling you back.